Hi, my name is Katherine Kyle, and I am so excited today because I am interviewing Robert Hollis. And Robert Hollis has achieved a level of success that most of us could only dream of. He has actually helped 45 people to earn over $1 million a year. And in the process, he himself has earned over $44 million. So I am just so thankful that he is willing to share all this knowledge with us, and I'm just really excited to talk to him. So welcome, Robert, and thank you so much for doing this today.
Well, Katherine, it's so fun to be able to do this interview with you. I thank you so much for the stuff that you've already done. That video really touched my heart, and that's why I wanted to reach out to you. I love people that are givers. So to be able to do this interview with you all the way in Scotland, I really appreciate that you're doing that, and I'm looking forward. We'll have fun.
Thank you. I was just wondering, could you just tell us a bit about your background and how you actually managed to achieve that level of success, if you don't mind?
Yeah, not at all. What really happened to me is I'm just, I just tell everybody I'm just an average guy. I grew up in a really small city called Williston, North Dakota in the United States. And everyone around there was a blue collar worker. They're all construction workers, plumbers, electricians. I was a mechanic. And, you really, in the small town that I lived in, there really wasn't a lot of people that felt like they wanted to go to university. We all just stayed sort of put. You get married, have a couple of kids, and you work hard. And that's what everyone I knew did. And that was an important point that I talk about in my success is you become who you hang around, So I was okay. I didn't know any better. And what happened to me is I got hurt on the job. Here I got, my young son, he's 6 years old. And I get hurt on the job, and all of a sudden they tell me I can't be a mechanic anymore. I really messed up my knee really bad. And so I had doctors tell me that I couldn't be a mechanic. So I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't know what I'm going to do. And a friend of mine, I was actually, I'm sorry, a guy was dating my cousin, ends up being, my friend. And he called me up and said, Bobby, listen, I met this guy. I seen his checks. There were $62,000 a month US. And he said, he's looking to expand a company, and he's looking for people that he can train, and you don't need any experience. Well, at this time, I was about ready to get kicked out of my apartment, get my car repossessed. And so I was very desperate. So I went and met this guy. And he started talking to me about marketing, which I hate sales. I don't like sales. I'm not a salesperson. And he goes, Robert, he says, you can get a degree in marketing. You don't get a degree in sales. Marketing is different than sales. And he started to share with me, Katherine, just some really incredible thoughts and philosophies that I had never heard of. And when I started applying them, I started getting these unbelievable results. In fact, I think that was about the end of, I was 26 years old, almost 27. And by the age of 30, I had made over $1 million before I was 30. And it wasn't because I'm smart. It was because I was doing things that other successful people are doing. And so you were nice enough to give me an incredible intro. So since then, things have really gone crazy. I had a couple of friends 3 years ago that said, Robert, you should take the stuff that you do to build your companies and share it with the rest of the world. And that's where Unlimited Profits came from. It was sort of a thought of, what was I going to do with my legacy moving forward, a new grandpa? And I just thought, wow, if I could share this information with other people because I got out of it, then they would too. And so Unlimited Profits was, started building, even though I've had the company now for over 14 years. But I always used it just to train my group and my organization within the company. And then when I started sharing it with others, it just spread all over the world. So that's where we are today. So pretty exciting.
Wow, that sounds great. That's an amazing story. Thank you, Robert. I was just wondering, who is Unlimited Profits aimed at? Who would benefit from unlimited profits?
Well, a lot of people, as you know, Catherine, they put labels on everything. I don't know why people do that, but I heard one time from a very intelligent man that we put labels on things so our mind can understand them. You know what I mean? So male versus female, or, one government branch from another, old versus young. We're always labeling stuff. And so what I do is I'm an entrepreneur. And an entrepreneur really is somebody that makes money that doesn't have a job. And so, I guess you could inherit it or marry into it or win the lottery if they have it in Scotland. But if you're an entrepreneur, then what you do is you basically find things, services, and products that that manufacturers make that are good for people, and then you take them from the manufacturer to the consumer. And you get to split this middleman profit. A lot of people probably don't realize this, but Amazon did $90 billion last year, and they don't make anything. See, so they just take products from other people, and people go on there to be affiliates, and people search for it, and there it goes. So, so what unlimited profits really simply is if I'm going to train people, like if someone wanted to be a nurse, the first thing that they would think about is, well, I need to go to school. And so I wanted to put a platform together, Catherine, to help people learn to be an entrepreneur. And so a lot of people, when they think about being an entrepreneur, I don't know why they don't think I should go to school, just like the person that wanted to be a lawyer, or a doctor, or a nurse. So they just jump in and they try to sell what they have or market, and they fail miserably. And my deal is like, why don't you go to school first? So that's what I put Unlimited Profits together for.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. And you in a lot of your videos, you talk a lot about the importance of mindset and also taking action. Would you say that one was more important than the other one?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, depending on your belief, some people might call it faith, which is action on a spiritual level or a religious level. But belief really, really is the core of everything. If we don't believe, then we won't go into action. For example, it's like, let's say that you're a really good swimmer and you love to swim. But if someone told you that the water you're about to swim in wasn't safe, then we don't swim. It has nothing to do with our love of swimming. It has nothing to do with our ability of swimming. It's not safe. So our belief is when we decide to become an entrepreneur and we start second guessing ourselves and we start having limiting beliefs, and our mind's got this chatter, and it's like, Katherine, you're not smart enough. You haven't been to business school. Maybe you're too young. Maybe you're too old. Maybe you're a female. You know what I mean? And are male, or you live in Scotland. You know what I mean? So it's all these. I live in a little city. I'm not good on the internet, and so all these limiting beliefs are huge. And if you can find a way to believe that if other people did it, you can do it. And I'm just going to get better each and every day, and I'm going to take baby steps. When you have those beliefs, then action is simple. See, now we're not scared. You know what I mean? So really, the reason a lot of people don't do a lot of things is because of fear. And that fear is like worry, which you're really thinking about things that are really not going to happen, but it's all because you don't really believe in where you're going. So you're like, what are people going to say about me? What if I fail? What if I lose money? It's like all these little things that go into our mind that if you could conquer those and believe, then the fear disappears, the action turns into results, and we become very, very happy.
Wow, thank you so much. So if somebody's taking all the action, and they're taking daily action, and they're getting in contact with people daily, and they're recording it all and following all the systems, and they're still not achieving any results, would you say that they need to work more on their mindset than stop taking action and just go back and work on the mindset until they get in the right place?
Great questions, Catherine. These are awesome. You're absolutely correct. If I used anything but being an entrepreneur, people get it right away. And I'll give you a neat example. Let's say that you were going to take somebody to go play golf. All right. And they've never, I repeat, they have never, ever played golf before. See, now they probably can believe that they know how to play golf, and they could probably in their mind go, well, if these other people are doing it, I can do it. And then they get up there and it doesn't go very well. Well, if they don't take the time to find a mentor or a coach or a trainer to teach them the basic things to do, it doesn't matter how much harder they swing the club. It doesn't make a difference how mad they get. It doesn't make a difference on how many times they swing and how long they swing it. If you don't have the right information, you're not going to get the right results. You're just not going to. And that's when you find people that if they don't get the proper education and the basics on being successful, then what they do is they walk away mad. And so now later in life, someone like you and I walk up to them and say, hey, listen, we should play golf. And they go, no, I've already tried that. It's not for me. It doesn't work. That's not true. If, if you want to learn to do something, and that's why a lot of professional positions, Catherine, you have to have a license. You have to pass a bar. You know what I mean? So in the States, if you want to be a lawyer, yes, you can go to school, but once you get your law degree, then you got to pass the bar. And each state has a different exam. So, so just like doctors, just because you get a doctorate degree, then you got to be an intern and you got to work underneath people before you pass, you get certified to be a doctor. And if everything was like that, if being an entrepreneur was like that, then people would realize that they could do it, because we're not going to just let you try without you knowing first.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I think a lot of people just think that they can start their own business and it'll just come to them, and they wonder why they fail. So yeah, it makes perfect sense to me. And do you think there's any tools that people can use to improve their mindset?
Yes, absolutely. I always tell people all the time it's very easy for me to be successful now in anything. And the reason that I say that is because I understand the first thing is I ask for help. And two, I immediately seek out people that have already done what I want to do. And so I'm not interested in going through what people are apparently sometimes proud to say is that they're self-made and they go through the school of hard knocks. But if you really do your research from Richard Branson to Steve Jobs, of course, he's no longer living, but there's bios about his life, Bill Gates, Michael Dell, any one of these individuals, they always talk about an individual that came into their life. And usually that person led them to some other things. Now, some of the people that I just talked about, there was in 1910, there was a book called Science of Getting Rich that was written by Wallace Wattles. And his thing is that being successful is a science. If you do it in a certain way and learn to think a certain way, that you'll become successful. Well, Bill Gates, the wealthiest person on the planet, got a hold of this book when he was a sophomore. And immediately he went, okay, now that if I know how to become successful, then I'm going to try that. And of course, look where it got him. So it's amazing to me how many people that are multi-billionaires that didn't finish their education. Not saying that education is bad, but they started getting into education because they had a goal to become something. So in the middle of your education, if you said, wow, if it's all about money, I don't want a job, I want to own a company and I want to employ other people, then that works. So in fact, what I'll do for the people that watch this video, Catherine, is that if they'll reach out to you, you'll find her contact information somewhere around this video. And if you reach out to her and get a hold of her, I'll send her not only the book, but also the movie The Secret, and also of the entire book on audio. It's over 100 years old, so you don't need any rights to be able to give it to other people. And plus, I'm not selling it. So if you reach out to her, she'll give you the link, and that will really change what you think. Of all my mentors, my first mentor that was a billionaire, his name was Roger Penske. He told me to read a book called Think and Grow Rich, which that book was actually, I believe, 20 years after this book. So, it's pretty amazing. So great question. Yes, there's a lot of things out there. And I tell people all the time, I don't know why when people meet successful people, me personally, when I meet a successful person, I ask them what their pop is, what their significant emotional event is that really caused them to go in the direction they're going. And the second thing is I ask who their mentors were, either live or in virtual. You know what I mean? Of course, Wallace Wattles, Napoleon Hill, Andrew Carnegie, which would have been the wealthiest person ever. They're no longer living. So you want to take the time to find out where their stuff is. And that's, boy, that shortcuts the stuff in a hurry.
Wow, I totally agree. Yeah, after reading those books, that made such a massive impact on my life and completely changed the direction, and yeah, gave me the drive to go and find people who could help me even further. So yeah, it's really helpful to get somebody.
Would you also say that these things had a pretty strong, especially Science of Getting Rich? Would you say that the first couple of chapters really helped you with your belief that you could be an entrepreneur?
Yeah, definitely. Yes, it's even for people who are not kind of science minded, it does really help you to believe that there is a science behind it, and it kind of, yeah, it all makes sense when you hear it. You don't really, you can't believe there would be a science until you read these books.
So true. It sure should be taught in school, shouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. And also, I was wondering, is there, I mean, with all your knowledge that you've got now, is there anything that you would have done differently in your businesses, like when you were just kind of starting off? Anything you would have done differently in your life that you would go back and change?
It's funny because we're another great question. I love your questions. It's actually going back to one of the questions that you already asked. If I could go back now and talk to my younger self, I would tell myself to think bigger, faster, because I could accomplish so much more than I have, and really not more effort. See, wealthy people know how to work smarter instead of harder. They do the things that are effective instead of doing what a lot of people say. Is a lot of people say they're busy, but if they were honest and you could log what they do for 24 hours, you would look at them and say, listen, there's a lot of stuff that you do that isn't doing anything for anybody, including you. You know what I mean? So we falsify this thing in our mind that not only are we too busy, but we also have this ability of always thinking that we're overwhelmed and we're too busy and I can't do all this and balance my spiritual life and balance family and balance marriage and we got all these things, you know what I mean? And we're really good at I guess the word, without being too bold, is we're really good at lying to ourselves. We're really, really good. So I had limiting beliefs when I first got in, where I could have made $1 million before I was 28. I could have been where I am today at the age of 40 instead of 53. And so that's what I would have did, is I would say, stop doubting yourself, dream bigger and go for it faster.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. And yeah, that was another question that I was interested in. A lot of people do tell me that and myself included, sometimes that they're too busy to fit everything in, and they might have a full-time job, or they're looking after their kids, and they really want to start a business and be successful. And have you got any tips for kind of time management, or what they should focus on first and how to squeeze it in?
Yeah, And again, this all comes back to mindset. See, it all comes back to through the belief and the philosophy and the way we think about things. And here's the example that I give to everyone that tells me they're too busy. So if that person has a job, if you already have a job, it's going to be easier. If not, I want you to imagine having a job. Okay. And if all of a sudden your boss, your employee, the person that owns the company said to you, Catherine, listen, I got some bad news for you, but I need an extra hour a day from you. I need another 6 hours a week from you. Now, if you want to work 2 hours and not work Saturday, that's up to you. But I need another 6 hours from you. Now, here's the bad part. I'm willing to pay you overtime, but if you don't give me the extra 6 hours, I'm going to have to fire you. And see, immediately we find a way. You know, if you knew you were going to, now one, I guess you could quit and say, I'm done, I don't care. But a majority of the people would say, okay, well, the first thing they would have a conversation with their families. You know, they'd be telling their significant other, their spouse that, you know, listen, I got to put this hour in. They would find people to pick up their kids from school. They would do whatever they had to do to keep that job. And those are the kind of hours where you could start as an entrepreneur and really change your life. Another thing that I say to people that, what if your company said to you, well, listen, Catherine, we got some bad news. We're actually moving our entire company to another city that's about an hour and a half away from here. And so if you want to keep your job, you got to go there. And it's like, wow, 3 hours extra a day of driving and commuting. And as people are hearing me say this, I know people personally that have jobs that do that in cities like LA.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? LA, California, 3 hours a day commuting. Wow.
Yeah.
And people tell me that they don't have time. Yes, you do. It's all based on priority. Yeah. So as soon as I made that a priority for you, you found it.
Yeah, I totally agree. I know a lot of people like that. It's just, yeah, what people are willing to go through for their jobs is kind of takes over their whole life a lot of the time.
Right.
And what would you say to somebody who was trying to start their own business and they'd been going for a while and they're not really seeing results, and they're ready to give up? What would you suggest that they do at that point?
Well, the first thing I would say is contact you and sort of take a step back and get the science of getting rich. Get the philosophy, the thinking, the everything behind being an entrepreneur first before just going to work and trying to make it work. I don't know what the stats are worldwide, but, you know, United States is a pretty entrepreneurial country, you know, because of the capitalist system. And they say that 90% of all small businesses fail within their first 5 years. Wow. That's a horrible, horrible rate. People that do online marketing, affiliate marketing, direct sales, or network marketing, less than 1% of the people make $10,000 more a year. Wow. 1%. And so when you look at that kind of high failure rate, I don't know why people wouldn't want to go learn from someone and learn how to do and find out what it really, really takes. You'll find out that a majority of the stuff that people do every day are stuff they shouldn't be doing. It's not getting them any closer to their goal. So great question. Find a mentor. Find a mentor. You got to find someone. And here's the thing. Everybody always thinks that mentors are not there to help you. It's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. People like me, I love helping people all day, every day, so they don't have to struggle.
Oh, that's great, Robert. And so what, for somebody who's never had a mentor, what could they expect from a mentor?
Well, again, I know that it's all based on personality traits. Sometimes people don't even know that there's 16 different personality traits. But, depending on the mentor is a kind of I don't know, like a Karate Kid kind of thing. Mentors are very successful people know that there's something more valuable than time. I mean, money, and that's time. And so what mentors tend to do is they will tell you to do something that seems very simple and also something that seems to be very insignificant, just to see if the person is coachable and ready to learn and can follow instructions. So my first mentor said to me, Robert, listen, I want you to go to the library. Again, this is 28 years ago. And said, I want you to go to the library, get a book called Think and Grow Rich. If they don't have it, order it. And then I want you to read it and get back to me. Now, because of the way I know him today, I know I wasn't the only person he said that to. See, he said it to everyone. So when you find people that, nowadays, because of technology, if I said to people, listen, I want you to watch this video. So if I got this whole library now, and then now I have all these resources online, the way I can always tell if someone is really serious about being successful and changing who they are and changing everything about them and making a difference in this world, mentors will usually give you a little bit of assignments and really guide you in changing yourself. They know they can't change people. They know they can help people that don't like where they are change. Yeah. And so very, very good question. That was one of the best, without a doubt.
Thank you. Well, that's been really helpful. Thank you so much, Robert. Yeah, that's all my questions. And yeah, really, really appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Well, Katherine, thank you so much for taking your time. I really mean this when I say this, is that your time is just as valuable as mine. And for those of you that took the time to watch this video, Katherine and I are not only partners, but we're now friends. We're working together along with a whole entire team of people worldwide that want to help you get the things in life that you really feel like you want and also deserve. And so reach out to us. One thing that we did is we put not only a free back office with over 200 hours of free training, baby steps, I call them. And so this will really, really help you make up your mind if this is the right timing for you. So allow Katherine to be your tour guide. Allow her to be able to point, guide, and direct you to the videos that are her favorites. And also because, she's one of my super affiliates and pros, I'll let her, give you a couple of her favorite videos that are on the pay side, which is a super affiliate side. Now, even though we're just a mentorship program and a way to teach people to be entrepreneurs, people can also promote our things and our training and our mentorship and make an incredible amount of money also, but take each step first, reach out to Katherine and say, listen, I want that science of getting rich, and allow her to take the time to build a relationship with you and serve you and help you. So Katherine, thank you so much. What a blessing you are.
Oh, thank you so much, Robert. You too. You're such a blessing. Thank you so much for everything you do.
All right. God bless and have a great day.
Take care. Bye. Bye-bye.